Dear beloved Creator of all that is, Creator of all that is within, residing within each of us is that part of you, as we are co-creators of our reality. And we acknowledge and give gratitude for our increasing awareness of this truth. In acknowledging this truth, we ask that this awareness permeate all that we do in all of our waking moments, in your service. In so doing, we are here to acknowledge service to other rather than service to self. We choose to no longer rely, depend, nor vacate to the creation the ogres want from us in their programming and their darkness. Rather, now awakened, as we recognize and act according to the beneficent, wondrous co-creators as you intended. And we are here to acknowledge our actions in that service to other always contains the prime directive of beneficent service for all that is goodly and godly. By creating cohesion and heartful resonance with one another in this higher purpose, and from our higher selves, we claim our sovereignty as the beautiful mind and body and spirit beings created by you in your image. And in doing so, we choose to use this lifetime to revindicate, restore, and refresh our common laws and take back our responsibilities of self-governance and self-responsibility so gradually lost so long ago. We gather here then, ready and willing to do and act, well armed with inner standing and standing freely as a force of your grace and divine love as our shield. And so it is.
Wow, thank you, Charlie.
My pleasure.
Hello, my name's Ron Vroman. I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I have something I'd like to read to you. It's called the Four Agreements, and I'm going to annotate it. Would you close the blind, please? Thank you. The first one is be impeccable with your word. That one is hard. There are so many dictionaries and so many words, and they change the meaning of words. And the word de facto and de jure is not in Bouvier 1856, which is the dictionary that defines the Constitution, the United States of America's Constitution, circa 1859. That document is defined. There's nobody that can say, oh, but we don't know what those words mean in the old days. Nah, it's all written down. The ones that tell you that are bar attorneys. So be impeccable with your word. Yes, absolutely. In the bar association jurisdiction of Article 7 amended, they say, be, what is it? He who can be deceived, let him. That's not right. That's wrong. They teach us wrong all the way. So be impeccable with your word. That's hard. You have to learn it. Then it says, speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself. Have you ever heard people that prognosticate an evil, bad thing that's going to happen to all of us, them included, like they have some line to God? Bullshit. Call those people out. So speak with integrity, yes. You don't lie, cheat, and steal, and you don't speak with ambiguity. You do your very best. Every shot. Say only what you mean. God, that's hard. We communicate on Skype a lot with chat notes back and forth among a bunch of people. And it's hard to follow 5 or 6 threads of conversations through one of those chat groups and understand what's going on. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Yes, amen. I agree. Don't take anything personally. Boy, is that one great. Some of us are better than others at that, but don't take it personally. Nothing others do is because of you. You are not the center. Sorry, didn't make it this time, but that's not who you are. I'm really good, and I'm an old and minor part of a group of 12 to 20 that is the provisional government on Oregon. Legitimately, no bullshit. De jure actually did the work. That bunch. And I'm that much of that bunch. Come on, nothing. So, personally, not much. But you can't do it for anybody else. Nobody can do it for you, and you can't do it alone. Shit. Simple. You ever listen to a guy named Cliff High? That was a eye opener. Nothing others do is because of you. Agreed. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dreams. We're all talking about everything, and the mama bear in the group that's doing the grandma trip in her head. And she is so far into the love of the next generation after that one. Anyhow, when you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, boy, what a delightful day that was when that eye opened. You won't be the victim of needless suffering. Likely story. I agree, but likely story. Don't make assumptions. That one all by itself can win the game. Don't make assumptions. Provide proof of service. When we do something, I don't know, let's take the uh, writ of habeas corpus ad sub
Ticiendum.
JCN. There you go. There's a whole lot of writ of habeas corpus. I was talking to a guy yesterday, 90 years old, lives in Alaska. He lives about 30 miles away from Anna von Ritz and has never heard of her. He was a uh, he was an attorney, a graduate of law school, and would not join the bar in California in the 60s. He just wouldn't do it. They were not going to tell him what to do. And he practiced law until he retired. And when he retired in the 60s, he went to Alaska. And he's been, how did he say it? There was a young lady up here that wanted to be a paralegal. So I've been tutoring her for 30 years. Can you imagine? So this old man, 4 years older than me, his whole attitude towards me changed the minute I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm 86." It was like when Cynthia said to the sheriff deputy, "Oh, my son's a retired deputy sheriff, Kern County." Oh, all of a sudden, they're mother and daughter. Okay, don't make assumptions. That one is, we prove everything we do. Signed, sealed, stamped, witnessed, proof of service, and published. No bullshit. Just do the work. Why the other people don't do it, I don't know. But I'm only responsible for me, and we, all of us in this bunch, are doing this work. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Yes, the bell curve says 62.5% of you as all of us, will not say the truth to the de facto. They'll get stopped, they'll take the ticket, yes or no, sir. They'll go down and pay the fine. They'll pay the interest rate at the insurance company for more when they didn't do anything to begin with, but they will not speak the truth to the de facto. That group, the people that are Amendment 14 citizens, U.S. citizens, Amendment 14 with privileges and no rights. 62.5%, they're Democrats with that mindset. Can't do anything about them. They have to change their mindset. We can't do it. But you have to find the courage to express what you really want. And you have to do it every time. I wrote here, yes, every fucking time, spelled PHUQUING, but it communicates it. You can't be just part time on this. You got to be every time on this for your unalienable rights, or unalienable, as a friend of mine. Anyhow, communicate with others clearly, as you can avoid the misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. Boy, communicate with others clearly. Yeah, when you're hurting, you have to tell your friends you're hurting. You have to find solace with them. When I was hurting, I said, "Hey guys, I'm hurting." And they jumped up. Yes, communicate with others clearly, as you can avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. Bullshit. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. Yes. And this is what I wrote there. And return to a constitutional Republican form of government. You have to get past the lies. You have to get to original jurisdiction. You get back into the documents and into the provenance of free, sovereign men and women, that place where the mindset. And we specifically know when we lost it. And we know the date, and we know when it changed to color law. Excuse me a minute. We know it changed to color of law 24 December 1860, when South Carolina left. There was no provision in their foundation, in their documents, in their agreement, in their social compact for them to exist without a perpetual union. Oh, Jesus, what are we going to do? They had no clue and they couldn't resolve it. And between that date and in March 1861, when they no longer had a quorum, we lost the provenance of original jurisdiction. The fictitious law form of original jurisdiction, where men and women were sovereign, was lost at that time. And we've had color law ever since. But nobody told us. And the ones that knew kept it quiet, because he who can be deceived, let him. So then people figured it out all along the way. Not me. I went until I was 75 before I had a clue. That's how good MK Ultra is in my thoughts and in my reckoning. I voted for every single presidential election from John F. Kennedy until Donald John Trump. And I
That
had
was hard to
never,
say.
I had never voted for the president until Donald John Trump was elected. Now that was a really good run of political acuity that I didn't even know I had or I was doing. I knew that whoever was winning was wrong. And on Oregon, they have been winning for 35 years, I believe it is. And every single judge has been appointed by a Democrat for 35 years or elected at the polls. And those that are elected get elected under Article 7 amended, which is the bogus de facto law form on Oregon. Fact, it's not. Charlie, am I lying, or is that the truth?
That's the truth. Yeah, and oftentimes the judges are selected by the selected um, governor. So they're both selected, right? And then once they're selected, they get reelected because they're on the ballot. So
Yes.
they're elected by the public. The public agrees or complies with what's on the ballot. And the thing about the judges being on the ballot, which is so especially annoying and bogus, is there's no way to research or find out anything about those judges. They're not really in the tablet, the pamphlet that tells about your ideology, your campaign, your political bias, whatever. They just appear on the ballot, and there's usually no one contesting them. And you can write in someone, but good luck with that. So it's just a ruse. It's a ruse.
Yes,
It helps
absolutely.
people. It makes people think that they have a choice and that they're participating in a political process, which they are not. Well, they are if they vote, but they're
Yeah, there you go.
they're yeah, they're complying with an agenda.
Yes, they are. The last one here is always do your best. That's hard. But if you do the best you can, you put forth your best effort. Whenever it is you're putting forth an effort, that's pretty damn good. And if you when you write, you include that in your writing, it makes a great difference. When the writing is reviewed, the reader is informed by the writer that this is the best they can do. Then, if you include in that something the forefathers wrote, which was the Judiciary Act of 1789, I love it. Article 32, they're not numbered, you have to count them. And it says if somebody makes a mistake in what they're doing, we just correct it and go on. It doesn't throw everything out, and that doesn't cause anything to be decided. All that came with he who can be deceived, let him. So we always call out 32. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstances, simply do your best, and you will avoid self judgment, self abuse, and regret. We do lawful, not legal, and with our best effort. I yield.
Thank you, Ron. That's great. Really good. And, when you said you were talking about people who have privileges, that would be U.S. citizens. And one of the things that was in one of our more recent documents that just was so apparent to me as it just came out, and that is that we do have freedom with the current governance, so long as we comply. So therefore, we have freedom to comply. We do not have freedom. There's a big difference, like the government giving us privileges to drive rather than freedom to travel. Huge difference.
Yeah,
So
mindset.
that's the main thing, the main for me, the main takeaway, because it's such a great metaphor, traveling. We travel in our mind, we travel in the body, we travel in the spirit. All of us are travelers, and we we are free to travel in the spirit in many ways. And in fact, so many people came here to this land and soil to seek freedom of spirit because they didn't feel they had it. And we do have that here more than many, many places. However, our spirit has been trying to be stolen by these vampires, these archons, these entities who are assuming authority over us. And there is an evil that we really must address and are addressing in our assembly, in the spirit, in every way that we can. And that is service to other, not service to self. And that's why we're here. I yield.
Amen.
Well, thank you, Ron. I just want to say one more thing. And that is, you started this out by talking about our favorite subject, de jure versus de facto. And I just wrote a thing to a couple people in text, reminding them of the importance of our original jurisdiction, which is de jure, people on the land and soil. We are the lawful, according to nature's law and God's law, as opposed to the de facto, which is illegal and illegitimate as defined in the most recent and the oldest Black's Law dictionaries. So while those who practice law, those being bar attorneys, JDs, etc., are really practicing not law. And
Color of
so,
law.
yeah, and so when we go to deliver our documents to some entity in a hospital or a courthouse. It doesn't matter. We are actually delivering lawful documents, and they say, well, we have to give this to our legal department. And it's almost laughable if it wasn't so dang frustrating, because it's an unlawful, illegitimate entity that they're handing our lawful documents to adjudicate the legitimacy of our documents. I mean, isn't that just hysterically funny on a certain crazy level? So
Yes, I agree.
it's just one of those funny God has a sense of humor things.
A paradox.
A paradox.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Ciao.
I have to get out to the yard. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. Then he jumps out of the car, and he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.